Man, picture this. You're staring down a beast that's laughed in the face of mud bogs, sand dunes, and a million miles of abuse, yet it hauls your family like it's on a Sunday cruise. The Toyota Prado 120 series over-engineered to hell and back. But here's the gut punch. I swear on my greasy toolbox. This thing's got one ridiculous trick up its sleeve that turned a skeptic's scoff into a gearhead's grin. Stick around to the end, cause I'm not spilling it till we've torn this legend apart. Alright, settle in, like we're rolling down some forgotten back road at dusk, windows down, that faint whiff of hot rubber and pines sneaking in. If you're new here on the channel where we chase the soul of machines that move us. From rusty vans that have seen the outbacks, underbelly to motorhomes that swallow highways, grab a seat. I'm your co-pilot tonight, the guy who's swapped more CV joints than most folks change socks. And tonight, we're cracking open the Prado 120, the unsung hero of Toyota's ironclad dynasty. Flash back with me to 2002, when the world was still buzzing from Y2K hangovers and SUVs were just starting to flex beyond the cul-de-sac. Toyota drops the J120 Prado, not as some flashy newcomer, but as the fix for their earlier misstep, the 90 series, that boxy brute that could climb Everest but handled corners like a shopping cart on ice. They said, enough. So they built it on that rock-solid Land Cruiser ladder frame, beefed up with high-rigidity twists that made it whisper over potholes, while shrugging off boulders like bad jokes. It's like if your grandpa's old pickup truck hooked up with a sports sedan tough love, zero compromise. I remember the first time I laid eyes on one, 04 model, parked crooked in a junkyard lot like it owned the place. That flared wheel arch, screaming try me, the swept-back headlights cutting the fog like switchblades. No chrome bling, just honest sheet metal begging for adventure. And under the hood, choices that'd make a diesel purist weep happy tears. The 3.0-liter 1K DFTV turbo diesel, a snarling inline-4 with common rail injection, and an intercooler that spools up like a jet turbine, 171 horses, 343 pounds-ft of torque that pulls like a freight train on moonshine. Or the 4.0 V6 petrol if you're chasing that smooth gasoline growl. But man, that diesel's the heart of the beast. Sipping fuel at 25 to 30 mpg on the highway, laughing at your Jeep's thirst. Now don't get me wrong, this ain't no cushy crossover. Lock it into 4-low with that Torsen LSD center diff, and it's a mudslinging wizard. Shares its guts with the Hilux and FJ Cruiser, so think unbreakable suspension that eats ruts for breakfast. I once saw a fella in the Australian outback who deflogged his 06 Prado across the Simpson Desert 3 times without a hiccup frame, still straight as a die. Diffs weeping zero oil. Compared to a Zero, that Mitsu's got heart, but it'll nickel-and-dime you with rust and gremlins. The Prado. It's the tortoise that outlives the hares, racking up awards down under for best SUV performer like it's collecting bottle caps. But here's where it gets personal, like that scar on your knuckle from a slipped wrench. Last summer, I snagged a clean 07 diesel VX for a mate's outback haul, about 10 million yen, back then, which shakes out to 15 to 20 grand these days in a good market, depending if it's got the full-time 4WD or those optional side steps that do unquite kill the clearance. Slid behind the wheel, that tall center stack feeling like a cockpit from some 90s rally vid. HVAC knobs, chunky enough to glove up and twist blind. Fired up, and the quietness hits you Toyota tuned, that turbo so it hums, not howls, blending sedan poise with truck guts. We bomb down coastal twists, the coil-sprung, rear-soaking bumps like a sponge, while up front, the independent setup keeps the steering knife-sharp family of 4. Plush seats, swallow M-hole. Though yay, the third-row jumpers in the boot are more for kids or emergencies, cozy, not cavernous. Off-road, that's where the poetry kicks in. Dropped it into a rutted fire trail near the Snowies, tires clawing gravel like they were born pissed off. That rigid frame twists just enough to flex over logs without snapping axles, and the KDSS sway bar disconnect way. Early models had it optional, but damn if it doesn't make the body roll vanish like a bad dream. Smooth as butter on blacktop, yet it'll ford a creek deeper than your ex's grudges. One hairy moment, we hit a washout, nose high, and I thought, this is it. Frame's toast. Nope, idled out, winched easy, not a drip from the seals. It's that over-engineering, every bolt torqued, like they knew you'd test it stupid, and the insights. Buckle up, cause here's a curveball, while everyone's chasing electric shinies. This relic's got more future-proof in its diff locker than half the new rigs. Back in 07, facelift, Toyota snuck in stability control and hill start assists before they were buzzwords. Saved my bacon on a slick incline once, auto-braking like it read my panicked mind. History nugget, designed in that French ED2 studio to woo Euro snobs, it blended Japanese bulletproofing with a dash of continental flair, outselling Land Rovers without the repair bills. Off the wall folks mod these with aftermarket bumpers and still flip them for profit. It's the gift that keeps on giving, unlike that Pathfinder that rusts if you look at it funny. But let's talk brass tacks, cause dreams don't pay bills. Snag a solid 0509 diesel now. You're looking at 12-18,000 United States dollars for a low-mile gem, with service stamps cheaper than a new Tacoma. Tougher than regrets. Features: bulletproof brakes that fade less than your resolve on a diet, a tow hitch rated for 6,600 pounds without breaking a sweat, and that infotainment basic by today's screens, but the nav's still spottin' for boonies where satellites blush. Safety: dual airbags, abs that bites hard, and later models with vehicle stability that'd make a deer in headlights jealous. We've chewed through the miles. That late-night drive's winding down, taillights flickering on empty straights. The Prado 120 ain't flawless, third row's a squeeze for adults. And if it's modded wrong, it LL bite back, but damn if it isn't the over-engineered soul of what an SUV should be: unkillable, unpretentious, unforgettable. Now, the hook I dangled. That one feature that'll floor you. It's this, buried in the dash, a humble OBD port that, with a cheap scanner, spits out diagnostics clearer than a therapist's notepad. But wait, pair it with the factory ECM. You can remap the ECO for 20% more grunt without voiding the indestructible warranty in your head. Blew my mind first time. Turned a hauler into a sleeper. Wild, right? So, as we park this beast under the stars, ask yourself, in a world of disposable rides, what's the one machine you'd bet your last wrench on? Drop your tales in the comments. Prado, war stories, mod mishaps, whatever fuels the fire. If this lit your spark, smash like, sub for more raw road rants, and ring that bell so we roll together next time, maybe ripping into a van that vanished governments. Drive safe, dream dirty. See ya on the blacktop.